Grand and glorious, royal, rich, divine, rising. It's the Anointed Reborn Again Dynasty. How's everyone feeling? Hope everyone is feeling well. Today I'm going to talk about a narcissist. They may be unaware that they are, but they are. Now, I feel like circumstances bring you to these behaviors. It's somewhat of a mental condition. And you can't really relate that you're that way until someone tells you back to yourself and you're open to listen to that. Otherwise, if you're not a narcissist, then you have multiple personalities that only come out around certain people. So there's this one group that sees you this way, and there's this other group that sees you in a totally different light. And unless either side sees the flip coin of that individual, them two will be like, them two sides will literally be fighting. Because both sides will surely stand firm on what they've always knew, what they've always seen. They seem to do a very good job of not mixing the two. And is that on purpose? Nevertheless, they are Mother Teresa to others. And to another group, they are Jekyll and Hyde. Anyone know of anyone like that in their family? Maybe a coworker, or even a boss. Ooh, the worst. To work under a person like that. And if you're not the one that they are playing Mother Teresa with, ooh, you really have it out for yourself. Well, how I've come to derive to this characterization, and I'm putting some possibilities out there, but I'm going to call it narcissistic behavior. When I was younger, I had this aunt, and I have a couple of them. I have a lot of beautiful women in my family, on both sides. But on this particular side of family, these women were quite competitive with the way they dressed and the men that they selected and so forth. And there was one who, she had it all. She had the beauty. She had amassed a particular wealth due to the husband that she had had. And we all were amazed by her. She had the type of beauty that if she was babysitting 7 of us and somebody wanted to take her out, they had to take her and all of us. And they did. Multiple places. And multiple times. And one of them ended up marrying her. But he later became very abusive due to cocaine. And I remember me and my cousins were sitting on a couch, and then all of a sudden my mama kicks down the door. And she's like, looking for such and such, and they're not there. So she tells us to be quiet because she's hiding in the house. They've come there early. Apparently there was some rescue mission. And by the time they got there, and my mom gave us the cue, we go running out the house. And something told me to look left. When I looked left and then I looked right, I saw my grandmother's brothers with long-barreled rifles on each corner. They was meaning business this day. And so I later find out, my grandmother says, well, you want to know how I got her to leave him? My brothers told me they wasn't going to come anymore. And that obviously she's going to have to need some deeper help because she's not trying to leave this abusive situation. My grandmother had to put her foot down to save her child. Unfortunately, all that this aunt had amassed, regardless of the pain and the psychological abuse, she felt like her worth, her desirability was all tied up with what she had amassed with this one man, as if she couldn't have had it, obtained it again. Oh, but it just got worse. Her next husband was a lot younger, just as handsome as the first, if not more. However, compared to her and to him, he really was still growing up. He hadn't even amassed a man yet. And his behavior throughout the relationship showed just that. There was some story about my grandmother needing assistance, and at the time, she didn't. By the time she did, honey, it wasn't as if they came and assisted and then went on their way. When they moved in, they never left. So my grandmother never had her home to herself anymore after that. And then people took over. But as that relationship crumbled, so did my aunt. And some ugliness started crawling out of her. I realized, and I've said these things to her too as well, that what she was dealing with was bitterness. She couldn't see others happy. She couldn't see her brothers giving their wives gifts, them showing up with new cars, them getting new homes and new jobs. It was always, well, what about me? Or what about mama? But she was always saying, what about me? She was always eternalizing it as if every gift or every promotion or everything that others got around her in the family, as if it was a dig to her. There was some sort of mental game she was playing with the ladies in the family about anyone losing their virginity before 21, only to later find out that that was a lie, but why would we even know or care? We later found out that this particular aunt was swapping stories of personal things between the nieces and then adding her sauce to them so that they would have their own disdain about each other. And they were very unknown to it. Except I'm a person that if I hear something that I don't think you should be discussing, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. And if it wasn't for me saying what it was that I had said, I would have never had known what was said about me. Now, this has gone on throughout the family for years. There were children that lived in that house that were mentally, emotionally, and physically abused, all because their parents were locked up, away, disowned them, had passed away, whatever the circumstance. The issue with that is that those children were her sisters, grandchildren. Do you think if she had it in her capacity that she would want those things to happen? But she passed away when she was in her 40s. So they heard things that they should have never heard about their parents. They were pit against each other. A lot of us were. And some of them had chemical dependencies. So she would pick and choose when she wanted to play the auntie role, because as long as they wasn't terrorizing her, she didn't give a damn about what the rest of them were doing to others. I had a moment to where I had spent a year there. I had just had my child, and my grandmother was like, you don't know nothing about raising no baby at 19. And you better get down here before you lose the gift that I have for you. So I moved to stay with my grandmother. She takes me up to the bank. Oh, but to her shock, someone has stolen from her. She had $3,000 in there left for me, but it was only $300 there when she went there. I had a job too, but I couldn't transfer it into the city that I was in. So if I didn't hurry up and find a spot, then I was going to lose that. My mother at the time that's not what she did. At least not for me. My brother was allowed to live with her, but not me. And if I was going to stay there and need her help, I needed to pay her $300 a month. And you was going to have to sleep until this, separate garage-like type area. But nevertheless, my grandmother pulled some strings so I can get into this program that was there, and that's how I was able to get the trades that I have. I've been a commercial driver since I was 19 years old. I got my B at 19, and I got my A at probably 30. I'm in my late 40s now. At that time, in that year that I was there, what I saw in that home, I never returned. I feel like I was one of the ones who got away, who got lucky. There were 6 kids, 1 man and 3 women. I was at the bottom of the totem pole. There was so much animosity, so much jealousy, that when I moved into my own place, after a year being there, she never stepped foot into my apartment when she would drop off her child and or children. Still to this day, she has never. She pretends like I've never knew how she really felt about me. But it came to a point where I had to let her know that I only tolerate you because you are my aunt. I have been lost respect for you because you took away my grandmother's say way before it was proper to. She put certain people, like an uncle of ours that lives in Houston, Texas. He's been in the front of so many different occurrences in that house that he has not even a clue about. She single-handedly drove a wedge between the most civil sibling. It has been her ammo her entire life to eradicate, to weave webs into everyone because she's just so miserable. And she found a very clever way of doing so. Because out in the public, oh, she's Miss Teresa. She'll watch anyone's kid out in the public. She'll go to all the church functions. She knows the Bible forwards and backwards. She lends people money. She takes them places. She pays for other people's bills. She moves strangers in my grandmother's home as if it was hers. Not asking her anything. I know because I've asked her myself and I've kicked out at least 3 different people. I stopped coming because something unnatural was growing in me. And it felt like I was going to need to do more than just come down there and clean house, if you understand. The disrespect was on an unnatural high. After this talk we had, I thought we were good. She called the siblings and told them that we were fine. I know because they called to tell me. But when I came back around her again and she was around her children, as if we had never spoke, as if we had never even settled the air, she pretended like she didn't even see me, and so I continued to do that so as well. I know you have people just like that in your family that are good weavers. Oh, they're very good. But they are the most miserable and dangerous people to be around. I stopped eating over there. I stopped drinking over there, accepting anything. I even told my son to beware, and I even told her, if I heard anything concerning mine, you will see me. This is not one, but 2 times where family members have broke away from the family, never to return, due to this aunt. They have let their baby sister run amok around the entire family and wonder why no one is close anymore. There are others who have mentioned that the reason why they have stopped coming around is because this particular one has always brought up the times. Can never let it go. Well, if you the baby sister of about 6 or 7 kids and you don't have any children, where do you think the other children are going to go? Had you been more accepting and more genuine about the role that you played in our lives, then maybe you would have gotten more thanks, more appreciation. I, myself, wanted to put it to bed. Let's throw her a celebration of life while she's still living. Maybe this will take the monkey off her back. I started feeling sorry for her. And now I've just lost all empathy. The blackmail. Outrageous. Just outrageous. I warned some people. But by the time they came back to me, it was already too late. The damage was already done. Whatever well that she deserves will be whatever that's well deserved. Be wary about those types of people. When they show you who they are, you believe them. You be careful about having your children around people like that. My mother might have been abusive, but she never wished death on my son. For a person that gets so angry, you can wish death and misery upon your children and grandchildren, then what do you think they can wish upon you and yours? This person that I don't speak the name of always conveniently calls once or twice a year. Oh, but they don't call, they'll text on a holiday or on a Sunday, as if that divulges them of something. I don't know, are you playing on my empathy, or what is this move here? If you was really genuine, you would pick up the phone and you would place a call as often as you would like, if it's genuine. But a lot of times it's a nosy tactic, or they realize how healing your energy is and they just want you to be around, or they need a piece of it. If you respond back with something, thank you for sending me that scripture, as it just helps them dissolve them of some of the dirt that they've dug. I hate to say it. I'm surprised you haven't suffocated for all that dirt that's piled up on top of you. I can no longer ignore all that has transpired over the years. I've made my peace with it, but I can't indulge in it. I used to know you, but I don't know you, and nor do I continue wanting to. Who you have become is someone I can stand. And the many faces that you hold, I don't have time to figure out which one you wearing today. So if any of you that are like that, or you are listening and you're wondering why you can't seem to get a hold of people that you used to get a hold to, why no one is coming around you, why is everything a little short and sweet when people come by because they're still playing courtesy, it's because you can no longer hide the person that you are and have always been, because you never took the time to go heal and free yourself. Now, for those who have turned the leaf, good for you. But the scars that you've left, they're still there. And those people have chosen to nurse their wounds in peace. And you should grant them that. That is all.